already have myself a good for tomorrow. Yeah, do you want to go? Because of John, you know John, right? John, you want to?
Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? Doing good? How was the Tai Chi?
Yeah.
All right, so our next speaker would be Giovanni Derice. Today we're in for an incredible treat. Our guest today is no stranger to Hostos. He's an interpersonal speaker, author, and entrepreneur who has spoken all over the world. Be ready to learn, be ready to laugh, and get ready for an experience you won't soon forget. Join me by giving a round of applause for Gio Derice.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. All right, perfect. I know you guys got some stuff in your hands, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna need you to put that down real quickly, only because I need you to stand up. She's like, what are we doing?
No, I'm saying.
No cha-cha slide, no that stuff. I can't dance, so I'm not gonna make you do it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not true left. I kid you not. Just a quick, this is not part of the speech, but in my wedding, which was super crazy, we had a DJ. When we started speaking to the DJ, he said, this was the first song that's gonna be. I told you guys, I had two letters. So I literally went to the DJ and I told him, here is the universal sign to cut the first song off. Right? So I don't want to dance too long. I'm looking at him like, hey, if I do this and I gotta do this more than one time, you're fired. Right? Like, so I probably danced for about like a good hot 90 seconds. And then the whole party was done. So there was a short window to get pictures and videos. So I am not comfortable with dancing. But here's the thing I want you guys to do for me real quick. What I would like for you to do, now that you are standing, is I would like for you to go ahead and just listen to the instructions, and then when I say go, you'll be able to go and do it. What I want you to do, and what I'm asking you to do, is to be able to go ahead and raise your hand as high as you possibly can. Not yet. You got your teeth, right? Tai Chi got you all set up. Y'all focus, right? So as high as you possibly can, I want you to go ahead and raise your hand. It doesn't matter which hand it is. Are y'all guys ready? On the count of three, we're gonna go. 1, 2, 3. As high as you possibly can. As high as you possibly can. Look around. You see some people. I see some people on tippy toes. Okay. I see it. Some people like they're really about this life. I get it. Someone's trying to touch the projector. Don't turn it off, please. I need it. Right. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. All right. Now here's what I want to do. I know this is probably not possible, but what I'm going to ask you to do next is I'm going to ask you to go ahead and raise your hand again, but I'm going to ask you to go and raise it a quarter inch. Not a lot, just a quarter inch higher than you just did. On the count of three, just a quarter inch. All right? 1, 2, 3. Raise it. A quarter inch. A quarter inch higher. I see some people going a little bit higher. They tippy toes now. Okay. Freeze for a second. Look around. Let me ask you guys a quick question. You can put your hands down. Let me ask you guys a quick question. By a show of hands, how many of you were able to raise your hand higher the second time than the first time? I see a lot of people raising their hands, right? For the most part, everybody's raising their hands saying that you were able to do it the second time higher, correct? Now, here's the thing that's very interesting. When I asked you to do it the first time, I said do as high as you possibly can. I said as high as you possibly can, raise your hand. I don't know where you found that extra quarter inch, but y'all was able to go ahead and find it. And the reason why I'm sharing this exercise with you guys is because the reality is our brains normally tells us what the limit is. Our brains normally tells us this is all that we can do, and then all of a sudden I just tell your brain that I'm tricking by just saying, yo, make it sound simple. Just a quarter inch, and all of a sudden people just say like, yo, where is it? And y'all go and find it. The reason also why I'm sharing this with you is because your brain, yes, it lies to you, but I also want you to understand that what we're going to talk about today, you might literally think that you don't have it in you to go ahead and do it. I want you to remember this exercise because it's a demonstration that what you think you can do even more than that. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. All right, you guys can be seated. Thank you so much for participating. By a show of hands, how many of you guys currently work or have worked in the past? Okay, I see hands go up. Okay. Keep your hand raised if you've ever had a boss that you did not like. Okay, so almost all the same hands stayed up, right? Now let me ask you a quick question. Those who have their hands, Some workers like, yo, my hand's still up. I just want to just think let the record be known, right? Like this boss was not a good person. So now let me ask you a question. What was it about the boss that you did not like? That was a negative experience.
You didn't provide proper training and inspection and things like that.
Okay, so you didn't provide proper training and expected me to move mountains. I heard racist. Okay, what else?
When the patients gave gifts for the workers,
Wow. What I heard was when the patients gave gifts to the workers, the boss took them home. Wow. Okay. You still work there?
no.
All right. Yes.
He wasn't motivated in terms of being able to motivate us to work harder. He wasn't. He just sat in his office and did what he wanted to.
He wasn't motivated. Said he didn't motivate you guys. Sat in his office, right? Yes.
Too much miscommunication.
Say that again.
Too much miscommunication.
Too much miscommunication. Yes. Disrespectful, right? So you did you feel like a person or a thing? Exactly, right? How many of you guys have ever felt like a thing at work? You ain't no human being. It don't matter that your family's sick. You ain't going to know. You got to put in these hours. I don't care if you got to go and pick up your child. You finish at 6, not 5. Right? Like, so anybody like we want to say that? You have your hand up? About the boss or something else? Okay, got you.
Down slow.
Right, so here's one of the things I realized, right? So today, what I promise you is this. What I promise you is I really truly believe in. Why I'm super excited about talking about leadership is because leadership is something that everything goes up and down on. If you have great leadership, the followers are excited, they're happy, they're super loyal, it changes the game. Bad leadership, the person can't stand them, you start pulling your hair out, you're the person who's on Instagram for 3 hours when you should be working, you're trying to figure out some other way to go and do something else but work because you don't like who it is that you're working for. Who's that person? And I can keep it honest, right? So if the person you work for is in here, I understand why you're right? But that's something that I found that's just so interesting, right? I remember one time, I kid you not, I went to a junior high school. This was the school that I went to. And in there, I went into the office, and the principal has been there for 20 years. This principal's been there for 20 years. I go into the office, and I'm seeing people hustling. Now, y'all guys know what it's like when it's almost like time for the holidays. Most people don't work when it comes time for the holidays, right? Friday, you know, is the last day, and you know you got a week off. That's when you stop working. Monday, right? You stop working on Monday, and then you just wait. I can't wait till Friday comes. So you're not really out there doing the work. So I went there on like the last day, and I saw people working, and I started to ask myself, there's something going on here. There's something about this place that's just a little bit different that would make people still work as if it was their name on the building. So I'm looking at it, and I heard one of the people talking, and they were like, yo, we don't slack because our principal never does. They said that we're going to keep going hard because our principal goes hard for us. Right there is one of the biggest lessons when it comes to leadership. Leadership is not about I. Leadership is about what? We. Right? So here's an interesting thing I want to share with you guys. That was not so exactly. Let's see here. Hold on a second. All right. So that's what we're talking about today. Here's the difference. Some of you guys may think that your boss is the leader. The reality is your boss is not a leader. What your boss is a manager. Leaders are not sitting down looking with a stopwatch or watch to wonder what time you came. A manager, their favorite word is time sheets. Clock in, clock out. They tell you everything that's wrong. Right? That's what managers do. But leaders, they're looking for like, yeah, man, I see the best in you. I see what you can become. And when someone talks to you like that, it is almost the equivalent of a guy saying the best pickup line to somebody. Like a leader who says, you know what, I see where you're going, I see the potential you have. All of a sudden you start going to work, you don't even know why you put on makeup today. We just happen. You just start doing this. I don't like the boss, but I just like what I'm doing. So I gotta look good. Because when I look good, I feel good. Anybody else like that? That's how I felt this morning. I had 2 suits I had to pick. This one, it just fit just right. It's skinny in the right places and bends in the right places. Right? So I was like, yo, man, I feel good. My wife said, why you pick this suit? I said, it's the one that makes me feel good. Like when I walk up the block when I park, I know someone's gonna look, I'm gonna feel good that day, look, and we're gonna have a good time. Alright? So that's how I wore this one, right? But the reality is like when you feel good about where you're going, it changes the game. Now here's the thing that managers do. This is their #1 job. To maintain. To maintain. So they're like, if nothing goes wrong, good day for the manager. Nothing goes wrong, you guys get a thumbs up. Good job, guys. Okay, cool. Yeah. She's looking at me like, I hate that. Right? That's what managers do. Managers go ahead and they just sit down and they go ahead and they just maintain stuff. But here's what leaders do. Leaders grow. Leaders grow your potential. They make you feel better about yourself. They make you feel inspired. They make you feel confident. And they give you opportunities to go ahead and do that. Now, a lot of you are looking at me and you might be saying, okay, Gio, this is pretty cool. You know, you talk about leaders, you talk about managers and all this stuff, but Gio, like, who am I to be a manager? And a lot of times, sometimes you think that, anybody, if you could be honest with me real quick, would say, like, you know what, I don't think I'm that manager, I'm a manager or a leader potential. Like, I don't see myself as a leader, if you was to be honest. See hands, see some hands, right? See some hands go up, right? See some hands, right? Here's the one thing that I want you to encourage you. This is super cool. When you hear someone who's a leader, normally what happens is they have something called responsibilities, right? Every leader has responsibilities. But here's the thing that I want y'all to realize, which is really, really cool about the word responsibility, right? So when you write the word out, and I don't go to school for spelling, right? So responsibility. And one thing I heard somebody say this and I never forgot it. The person said that the whole thing about responsibility is someone's ability to respond. That's it. Listen carefully. Just their ability to respond. That's it. So anyone here, you had like the responsibility to show up here on time. You did. So we are clear that you have the ability, when you want to respond to whatever someone's calling you to do. That is the bare minimum of leadership. So anyone who had their hand that was there, I don't think I got it. You can show up someone on time, you got it. You got kids? You got it, right? Right? Like, now, I'm not saying that every parent is a good leader. I'm just saying that every parent has the responsibility to lead a child. There are some bad ones, but I'm talking about just the idea. And I would tell you this. One of the greatest things, I don't know what your career is, I don't know what your major is, the title that I want you to go after, the title that I'm here to go and express to you and make sure that before you leave here, you understand that you are this person, is the title of leader. The title of leader. Let me tell you why I'm super excited to talk to you guys. Because the reality is that there are more followers than leaders. There are more followers than leaders. And here's the interesting thing about leaders. They change the culture for good or for bad. I love sports. In sports, I love football in particular. On a typical football team, there are 53 football players. You want to know who's the first person that gets fired when the team does bad? The coach. Who is supposed to be the what? The leader. It is a lot easier. So if you want to change something very quickly, you don't change 53 players. What you do is you change the one leader. And you will see everything completely change. I never forget this. There was a football coach who had this good, decent team, but they just could never win the championship. They just go in the very next year, change the leader, same exact players, they win the championship the very next year. The very next year. Think about McDonald's. Guys, McDonald's was when it first started, it was two brothers that started McDonald's. Did y'all know that? Right? Some of y'all saw the movie on Netflix or something, right? So the reality is that there was two brothers who started McDonald's. And they were able to go and build it to a certain point. And they were able to get about, like, let's say, 25 franchisees to open up or something like that. A new guy comes in by the name of Ray Kroc. Good business guy, good leader. He comes in, and in 4 years, they end up having like almost 200 McDonald's. Same idea. He didn't say, hey, let's change the French fries. Let's have real beef in the burgers. Can y'all believe that McDonald's did that to us? Did you believe that they came out with an advertisement that when they now have their quarter pounder, and they now have the nerve and the audacity to tell you now we got real beef? What have I been eating these last 30 years? The nerve! They said, no, the beef is now 100%. What was the percentage of the stuff I was eating before? Now, it still helped me because I did have to balance it. But right, and it wasn't the quarter pounder. But like, right, so the reality is that I'm telling you this, like, the thing that changed was not the things that was inside of it. What changed was the leader. When the leader changed, everything else changed. This is why if you want to be a person, how many of you guys want to make an impact? I'll see hands go up, right? It's good, right? I'll make an impact, right? How many of you guys are like, I feel like, this is why I love talking at Hostos. I love speaking here because every time I see you, I see people who just want to help people. Who are those people who just want to help people? I see people that are like, yo, look, I just care. Every time I ask you, like, why you want to do this? To help my family when I graduate college. To go and help people in my community who maybe I believe that they're going to be able to go ahead and do something. This is why I'm so excited to come here, because the information I'm telling you, if I say it to the wrong person, they'll lead people in the wrong place. But when you got the right people leading people, right things happen. Right things happen. So leadership is super important. It changes the game when we understand that. But the key thing is we got to understand that it's about growth. It's about getting better. So what I'm going to share with you guys is what I call the cycle of leadership. The cycle of leadership. There's three things that I want you to be concerned about. We're going to start right here in the middle, in the beginning, right? You better you. You better you. For those who may say, Gio, on a scale of 1 to 10, let me just actually do a survey real quick. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you guys feel like as a leader, you're a 1? Raise your hand. 1 would be like the lowest level. 10 would be, I didn't mean like you're number 1. She's like, you're like, I'm leadership. Like if you look it up in the dictionary, my face is there. Right? She's like, you're like, and I love the confidence. She's like, I don't even care what the leadership thing is. I just want you to know that if it's leadership and number 1, we together. Right? So that's super cool. What I mean is that number 1 is, I'm probably one of the worst. Number 10 is, I'm lit. I'm one of the best. Look me up, leadership, and that's my middle name. On a scale of 1 to 10, who is a 1? I love the honesty. Listen, and let me tell you guys something. There's so much teaching lessons in this. Most people are never able to improve because they keep lying to themselves. Someone felt that one. She was like, say that again, I will. Right? Or no. Right? But the reality is this, like a lot of people who just lie. And when we lie, we can't get over or get better. If you keep saying, it's like someone said, like, I like you walking to the beach, thinking I got six-pack abs, and I'm just showing all my glory to everybody. Like I'm the greatest thing in the world. Like, yo, guys, look at me, I'm the Adonis, make the statue now, right? All these different things, right? But honestly, if I'm looking at the situation, I should be looking at it, and it doesn't hurt your feelings. Don't ever feel bad for saying you're less than if you believe you're going to go and improve on it. A lot of us, when we feel bad about ourselves and we say, I'm a 1, I just want you to know that you are 1 today. That's it. Today, you might be a 1. The goal is, and we're going to talk about this in a second, the goal is to become a 2 tomorrow. All you need to do is put one foot in front of the other. If y'all all look at it, I said this before when I speak at Hostos, if you look at what you look like, when I asked you what was your ability to walk when you was a child, y'all all were 1s. everybody started off a 1. And when y'all fell down, y'all messed up, y'all was a 1 on the next day, no one said, you know what, I'm just going to be a 1 at walking for the rest of my life. No one said that. They're like, I'm going to figure this out. And I'm saying have that same spirit when it comes to leadership. So those who raised their hand and said 1, first of all, I would say I commend you for being courageous enough. I also want to I got good news for you. Today's the last day you're going to be 1. She smiled already. Like, just the smile alone made you a 2. We already went. We made it right. Right? So this is amazing. Like, and I want you to understand this. Just your attitude just changed your number. Just her attitude changed the number. She was a 1 about 30 seconds ago. Now she's sitting over here, she blushing. I'm so just want to let y'all know, for those who can't see her, this is exactly what she's doing right now. She's like this. You're smiling. She's like, giggling. I'm just going to take a picture and say, tell my wife, I made 1 person smile. Right? So you can get better. Who's a 2? Okay. I like it. Now, don't raise it now because you might be a 3 by the time we've done the surgery. Right? so she's like, I see a 2 over there. Who's a 3? 3. You 2 and 3? You already got better. I like this already. He said, yo, you asked me 10 seconds ago. I already improved. 4. Okay. See some more hands. 5. In the middle. 6. 7. 8. This guy got to stop. Don't bother you because he's even going up since we started. 8, 9. Let me keep laughing. 9, okay. 10. Who's a 10? 10 out of 10. She's like, I just want to let you know, I claim it. Right? She's like, yo, I ain't taking nothing less than perfect. Like, that's my part. Here's the thing I want you to be just be very mindful of, right? 10, those who say they're 10s, I want to give you that test that my mom gave me. When I would take a test in school, my mom would tell me, Gio, the goal is, and if you guys are in the Caribbean, or you might be like me and Haitian, you would understand that this is the number they tell you. On the test, I want you to get 110. Yep. Someone that real quick, right? Yep. The goal is 110. Mom, the teacher only gives 100s. I don't care what the teacher gives. In my house, it's 110. 110. In my house, it's 110. Right? And I say that to you because my mom wanted me to never be satisfied with just 100. For you to always get better. So if you're a 10, your mind should be wired to say, how do I get to 11? How do I get to 11, right? So the number one thing I want you to do is, the number one goal is we want to make sure we better us. We want to better us, right? So here's what I want you guys to do, and write this down. We want to work on our personal improvement plan. Our personal improvement plan. This whole idea, there's 2 things, there's a book by the name, it's called Mindset. Anybody ever heard of it? Heard of it? There's the person who wrote it, good question. The person who wrote it is a person by the name of Carol Dweck. And she talks about there's 2 types of mindsets. There's fixed mindset, and there's, come on! It's right there! Get it! Come on, grab it! You listen, yes, that's exactly the answer. Now here's the thing that I want you to understand. She was like, right? And she got it. But here's the thing I want you to understand, and I love it. We're about to be besties. Like, I don't know if you know that. But I just said, after being my best friend, I hope you feel this. And she said to me, feelings of each other. Right? So here's the thing I want you to understand this. When she was thinking about it, here's what most of us do. When we are close, we just give up. That's the thing that hurts the most. She knew it. She was like, it's in the tip of my tongue, like, growth. And I want you guys to understand that if we're going to grow, that's what growth looks like. Growth looks like that last rep when you want to go and make sure you're just right for beach season and you do that one more squat. The guys, they don't like legs, guys know how it is, so they only do more push-ups and bench press. So, guys, this is what I'm just going to give you 100% what guys do. We only work out the muscles you see when we walk forward. we don't work out any of the muscles behind us. So screw a back, legs, who cares about that? We just care about the front. That's all thing you gotta care about. All right? So here's the reality. I want you to understand that whole thing about growth is super important. And all of us have the ability to grow. All of us. I don't care what age you are. My mom just learned how to pick herself. She is 64. My dad texted me the other day with emojis. 74. And I was very upset. I said, no, Dad. No. Like this, now you've gone too far. You can't be doing what my friends is doing, sending me emojis. My dad said, that's it. That's it. I told her like that. Oh, we don't use words now. You know, so it's crazy how times have changed. And he just keeps getting better and better. He keeps growing on his ability to use the phone. And I want to tell you guys that growth don't stop. As long as your heart is beating, growth don't stop. Every day, please get better. It's the worst thing that people do when they go to school. How many of you guys, this is going to be your last semester in the spring? See a lot of hands, right? She's like, a lot of graduates, right? So I see a lot of hands go up. Let me tell you one of the worst things that happens when people graduate from something. They stop graduating. Now, what I mean by stop graduating, I don't mean that they stop at associates. I mean that they only let a paper determine how many times they're willing to grow. She liked that one. She said, right? So the crazy thing is that I want you to get thirsty, hungry enough to say, like, listen, what I am today is nothing compared to what I'm going to be tomorrow. The only question you should be asking yourself every day is, what did I learn today? What did you learn today? Maybe you got a bad grade on the test, and you learned like, waiting for the last minute to study for a test is a bad idea. Sometimes, you know, when we learn them lessons, when we get the bad grade, y'all heard it before. That's the first time you heard, hey, make sure y'all study. Don't wait for the last minute. And then what happens? We say, nah, man, that's for you. But me, the way I do it, I can study last minute until you can't. Right? There comes a point in time when you're like, it doesn't work no more. So I want you to get to the point where if in the times that we're living in today, where everything is super competitive, how many of you want a good job? Oh, snap. I said, just put some respect on career. Right? She said, I want a career, I don't want a job. How many of you guys want a career? Okay, now we got all the things. Okay, we got a career, right? Now I want you guys, keep your hands up who want a career. Now I want y'all to look around the room. Y'all not the only ones that want it, clearly. Right? So because you're not the only ones who want it, if we stop growing, what we're also doing is stop growing our potential to get more. This is why it's so important to have that personal improvement plan. It's for you to always continuously grow and get better and better and better. Let me tell you something that I heard a pastor say that I'll never forget. He said that no one likes to follow a parked car. Let's try and walk. I love it. There's always somebody who comes up with something out of it. Right? So the whole idea is like, listen, like for example, I'm driving from Brooklyn to come here, and I'm about to go in the tunnel, and all the cars is not moving and stuff. I don't want to be there. No one wants to be behind something that's not moving. So if you're looking at what makes a great leader, one of the qualities is someone who's always moving forward. Worth writing there. Right? Let's make sure we're always heading up, going up, growing, getting better, getting better. And I want you to understand this. I don't care how big the difference is. Someone will say, well, I didn't feel like I was growing. Well, when you were a kid, you didn't feel like you was growing either. No one said, oh, snap, there goes the extra foot. I'm 3 feet now. No, you didn't feel it, but you had that. It happens automatically. Here's what happens when we get older, though. The automatic part stops. And now we have to consciously make the decision to say, I want to get better. So I want to ask you guys real quick, how do we get better? How do we get better? How do we improve? What's a guess, an educated guess? Yes?
When we push ourselves to stop being sad when we have try to feel more.
Say that louder.
Now, okay.
Yes, say it louder.
I think we can stop staying satisfied and continue to improve and get out of that box, goals that we need.
Yeah, so getting out of that box, right? Like, let me tell you something. The box is very comfortable. But I shared this when I went to another college and spoke to them. You know what looks like a box? Cubicles and jail cells. Boxes. You don't want to be comfortable. You want to always figure out how to make it a little bit more, a little bit less comfortable. Because what happens is when it's comfortable, y'all know what it's like. That's what it feels like when you hit the snooze button 3 times in the morning. That bed was super comfortable, right? That's why sometimes I sleep with no sheet on, even in the winter. Because if I sleep with the covers, I'm not getting up. I said, like, don't make yourself uncomfortable. Don't make it so easy to stay. Don't make it so easy to stay. What else? What is another way we can improve? Yes. And here's the thing. I love what you just said, right? She said self-acceptance. A lot of times you won't hear people use that term, but one of my mentors told me something I'll never forget. He said the #1 disease in the world, the #1 disease that every single human being has to go through is a disease of self-esteem. Everyone in their life at some point will have a diagnosis of low self-esteem. Is that true? Like, how many of y'all have ever experienced low self-esteem? Raise your hand. Right? Sometimes, like, I'm a motivational speaker and I feel it every day. Every day. Oh, man, I'm not that good. Oh, shucks, look at him. He's speaking in front of 600. I'm speaking in front of 100. Oh, low self-esteem. But when you go ahead and say what this young lady, what's her name? But you say what Lisa said and says self-acceptance, all of a sudden, oh, it's different. So some of you might have on a scale of 1 to 10 of self-acceptance, it might be a 3. At that point, you put it in your personal improvement plan and say, I'm trying to make that 3 into a 5 by the time March comes. In the next 2 months, it's going to be love me some me. That whole thing of self-care is not selfish, I believe it. Take care of yourself, because if you're not taken care of, how could you possibly take care of somebody else well? If you are taking care of somebody else and you're not taking care of yourself, what you're really doing is not giving the person the best version of care. Or of you, right? Like you're like, here's 25% of me. So I want you to go ahead and invest in that, right? Self-acceptance. What else? Yes.
I feel like it starts with your character too, like who you are as a person. Because you could be a real leader and be an awful, nasty person. People are not going to follow. It doesn't matter how much good you do.
Yeah. So being a good person, right? When we went to school, when we were younger, no one taught us character. What they said was, when was Martin Luther King born? They said that there's all these planets. These planets got rings. Is Pluto even a planet anymore? There's 50 states. What's the capital of Arizona? Like, we start learning all these different facts. And then what ends up happening is the stuff that really matters. When you go on a job interview, when was the last time they asked you, hey, what's the capital of Maine? Never, right? But what they will do is call your last job and find out what kind of person you are. Your character. So if you're a person and you can be honest and say, you know what, sometimes I'm a really nasty person. And I told my wife the other day, I said, sometimes I'll be saying some stuff about people that's just as bad. And I had to realize, by doing an assessment on myself, and realize the reason sometimes you say something bad about somebody else is because you just don't feel good about you. So because you don't feel good about yourself, you just go and put somebody else down so you can feel good. Ah, look, haha. So that you don't go and look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, man, what's wrong with me? But if you go ahead and say, you know what, what's wrong with me, let me accept it, self-acceptance, and then put it in my personal improvement plan, all of a sudden you get better. What else? Let me get one more. Yes?
Finding what it is that is holding you back from achieving.
Right, so what are some barriers, some blocks? What are some common things that you normally find yourself tripping over and over and over again?
Self-doubt.
What is it?
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Anybody else can tell me what their barrier is?
Oh,
Discouragement. What else? money, fear, worrying, feeling inadequate, not good enough, time, bad habits, afraid of making mistakes, judgment. If I don't tell you how to stop, you gotta keep going. Right? Y'all would build a skyscraper. Before you know it, you're I feel like I'm at World Trade Center all over again, right? Like just building this new big tower of these negative things, right? But what happens is the way to get over negative things is first to call them out. So you said self-doubt. I'll give you a quick tip. And God, please be honest when you're doing these things, and let me tell you why. When we don't say what's wrong, we're begging the world to guess and play mind reader to figure out how do we overcome something. And so what happens is, the reason why a lot of times, and this happens with leaders, if y'all ever had anybody had like a boss bully, a boss bully, right? Someone just keeps like just picking on you, you can't get a break, right? That person just continues to pick on you over and over and over and over again, right? And a lot of times what happens is there's a word that they use a lot of times for bosses, it's called crack the whip. They go ahead and they just keep beating on you so that they can go and feel as though they are, if I could knock you down from your 9 to a 7, then all I gotta be is an 8 to be better than you. So they knock you off your horse, right? So you said earlier, you said self-doubt. I want to give somebody, and I love the questions and stuff like this because all of us has had self-doubt at some point. I want to show you how to get rid of it real quick. Is that cool? Anybody want to hear that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So when we look at the word doubt, I hope y'all don't follow this. So if you go ahead and look at the word doubt, there's 2 things in there specifically on how to go ahead and overcome.